Hi, everyone. This is Jennifer with Farmer and Wright. Of course, I am a legal assistant here, and we are joining you today for Ask an Attorney. And we have an attorney, Mr. Todd Farmer of Farmer and Wright. And again, every week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time to 12 p.m. Eastern, we are getting to visit with you guys and talking about finance and talking about COVID. And Todd, this is now our third week of doing it. And I think this is really a great way to kind of continue conversation. I mean, how have you been hearing our clients and new clients are liking this process?
Yeah, I've ran into people at the store picking up food that, hey, I really appreciate you doing that. And I think it's a way for a lot of people, they don't know whether they should call an attorney or not. Well, they see we're doing Facebook. They can kind of get on there and listen kind of anonymously and get some of their initial questions asked. So I've really had good positive comments so far.
And we are up and running again. We have that ability to meet with clients virtually, just like you and I are speaking. And a lot of clients have really liked that. And we've actually now hold hearings. Yesterday we held hearings by phone. Next week we're holding hearings by video. So we are still able to protect kind of our friends and family, our neighbors, from creditors even during this process.
Yeah, I had a hearing in Owensboro on Tuesday. I had hearings for Paducah yesterday, and I just got off the phone doing a hearing in Bowling Green yesterday, all by video. So the court system is still running. People think that it isn't, but they're still running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, that runs both ways. One, we're having court hearings, but that also means creditors still have access to the court system as well. I was online reading the news like everyone does this morning. On the front page of CNN was an article that the credit industry and debt collectors are going to target this stimulus check. I think a number of creditors out there have been waiting, and they know that those stimulus checks are going out over this week and the next 2 weeks. And I think they're going to target garnishments and try to garnish people's bank accounts, trying to time when these stimulus checks hit.
And I think actually right now I'm sharing that in case you are watching. I'm putting that link into our feed right now. So then that way you have that ability. It says that actually the quote, and this was over 1/3 of Americans are at risk of losing their stimulus payment. I mean, how is that possible, Todd? How can people access, or how can not people, but how can creditors access those funds?
Well, what they do, for most people, the stimulus check, since we all use direct deposit, the IRS, to make it easier on people, is direct depositing that stimulus check directly into bank accounts. So if creditors have sued people in the past, or creditors have judgments, or you've given them consent in the past to access your account, then they can go in and directly garnish that account. And that account would be frozen before the person even realized that the creditor was trying to do that.
And I think what's shocking is that most people don't realize that. Most people are thinking, oh, well, I'm not working now. There's nothing that a creditor can do. But all of a sudden now it's the one thing that can help you through this process, a creditor can get access to.
Yeah, people assume that these checks are not subject to garnishment, but that's kind of an urban myth that's going around. These funds are, in the law's eyes, these funds are just like wages, essentially, that are subject to attack.
Wow. So I guess if you are in that situation and you're needing assistance and you're worried about that, this is now definitely the time to send us a message or give us a call to set up a video consult. I mean, let's just say, and Todd, I know every situation is different and everything, but what would be the best recommendation if you're sitting there now thinking to yourself, I know that I owe a past due debt and I've always kind of been hiding from it. What's kind of one of my first things besides giving us a call? What do we kind of advise through that process?
Yeah, well, if it's not if you've got judgments in the past, what I would do, I'd be checking my account daily, and I would pull those funds out, have them in cash, so that they're not subject to any garnishment. And I'd also take kind of a big picture view. I might reach out for a consultation and just find out how do I deal with all these debts at one time? Is there a way or a process that we can use to get all of this behind me so that when the economy opens back up or when I go back to work, I can go back with a clean slate and not have a bunch of past due balances out there.
And I know that a lot of these kind of conversations we're always talking about is those that are kind of needing help that may have never met with us. But as far as maybe clients that have met with us that are kind of working towards that process, again, we set up payment plans with our clients and we really work within their means. What are we really promoting right now with our current clients when it comes to getting ready to file in that process?
Yeah, we have a lot of people, they're on payment plans and they're paying a little bit each month so they get ready. We can file their case. And I got 3 calls yesterday from people who said, hey, my stimulus check is coming in. I'm going to take a portion of that and I want to use that. We'll pay off the balance of our case so we can get our case filed. It's a good way, good use of the funds to, take care of all your issues at one time.
And again, I think we keep stressing that if that stimulus check doesn't take care of all your debts, all your kind of unsecured debts, you really should use that stimulus check to put yourself in to erase it. It's almost like use your money to, I guess it's always like give a little to earn a lot. In this case, that's really the true case.
Yeah, what I don't want people to do is get this stimulus check in, have a large amount of debt, and then try to make small minimum payments to 7 or 8 different people. Because if you do that, all you've really done is buy yourself 30 days. And then 30 days from now, you're essentially going to be in the exact same situation. I'm advocating, let's deal with it all at one time so you don't have to come back and do this again.
Absolutely. We did have a couple questions come through. Betty from Paducah, I think we're going to probably get this question every day, especially now hearing that 22 million people in the last month have unfortunately filed for unemployment. And again, she's talking about unemployment. How can she really utilize that when negotiating with creditors? Can she provide her unemployment amounts and will they give her any relief to her monthly payments with them?
Well, I wouldn't I don't advocate giving creditors any information. If you give them information, you're helping what's in their best interest, not what's in your best interest. And the only thing they're probably going to do is a creditor's idea of working with you is setting you up on payments, not reducing debts. The only way creditors typically reduce debts is if you offer to pay them a lump sum that day. And I don't want to see people use up all their unemployment and things on old debts or old credit cards or old medical bills when they've got ongoing expenses. I'd rather see people use those funds to meet their ongoing expenses, food, utilities, medicine, gas, that type of thing. Don't pour it into old debts.
Okay. And I think that's very true. And definitely in that case, if you are unfortunately facing kind of unemployment and your budget has changed, definitely give us a call, send us a message to go ahead and set up a kind of a consultation and everything. Amber from Louisville is actually unfortunately, and again, and one of those others that is unemployed. And I think we hear this question a lot is how can I utilize my credit card to take care of my bills? I guess we always talk about debt, but then in this situation, we find that a lot of people start creating debt. What does that kind of look like for kind of what is somebody's option to utilize debt, I guess, credit to take care of their bills?
Well, I tell people, just to be frank, you meet your needs however you can to meet your needs. But if you had to charge a utility bill or you had to charge some food, I understand that. But I want people to understand that if you use credit cards and things to meet debt, that's a Band-Aid. That is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. And nobody's ever borrowed their way out of a problem.
Okay.
That may be a temporary solution, but that doesn't address the bigger issue of how we're going to deal with the debt, and are you going to have the resources to ever pay it back?
So if I find myself where I'm paying cash, I'm paying out of my bank account for my vehicle, but then I'm putting my utility bill on a credit card, then that's when we need to go ahead and meet with that person and talk to
That's
them.
right.
Just
I had a person one time who was, I asked them if they could meet their payments. They said, oh yeah, I make my minimum payments each month. But then they said, well, but then the last 10 days of the month, I have to use the credit cards again because I've already ran out of all my money meeting my minimum payments. And I said, well, you're really not meeting your minimum payments if you're having to go back to the credit cards each month to cover living expenses. All you're doing is taking money out of one pocket, putting it in the other. So in that situation, that's a good time to reach out for a consultation to talk about how we can deal with it once and for all.
Perfect. So if you are in that situation where you're facing unemployment, or again, if your stimulus check, we really kind of can't stress it in a sense that this is almost a kind of a golden ticket, a lottery ticket to put yourself in a better financial situation. We keep saying it right now that our world is kind of chaotic, and really the one thing you can control is how your finances are and what a creditor is doing and can do, and how you can protect yourself. So please do not be like one of those 1/3 of Americans that may have their stimulus check taken. Contact us, send us a message. If you know somebody who needs to hear this, send them, share this, and just make sure that you like our page so you can see our content and see this material. Every Monday through Thursday, we're going to be here providing you more information of how we can help you out through the process. And Todd, any kind of final words or thoughts?
No, we're just going to post some articles and on there, and we just hope people will come to our site as a source for information. We're kind of passionate about this, and we're monitoring this every day. And I hope people will just come to our page and look and get their questions answered. If they don't get it answered, then click the button and give us a call.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so very much, and we'll see you guys next week.